All right, the morning commute back home. You get to see what it's like. As usual, riding in second gear, conserving some battery. Let's see how quick we can get up. It took me about 6 minutes to get from 14 to here last time. Let's see what happens. Just a quick update. I don't know if you can see that. I'm 200 miles in with this scooter. It's pretty good for what it's worth. But I could totally understand why people would opt for the pricier variants. A little much better range. Especially like something like the GX3. It's a really good vehicle, at least the ones that I've seen up close. I think it tops out at 38. Like I said, this one tops out at about 28 miles an hour, which good enough for me. I don't know, you know, I'm not sure if the video really does this justice to show like me doing, 20 plus going up these city streets. 9 times out of 10 I could get uptown, even stopping at red lights, much quicker than a car could. Which I love, and it's the reason why I got this thing to begin with. As I said, for the most part, it keeps me off the train. Unless it's a downpour, I'm usually on my scooter. Excuse me. Yeah, you see crazy stuff like that every day too. Usually my goal in life is to beat any city bike, especially the electric ones uptown. Usually it only takes about a good 21, 22 miles an hour to do that. Because see, they have to do stuff like that because they're worried about the clock. I don't have to do that because I own my scooter. They're worried about the time per minute, so they really try to like kill themselves getting uptown. And I love biking. I'm a biking enthusiast. I just don't believe in getting all sweaty and gross before work. That is definitely not my favorite thing to do. That's kind of why I opted for the scooter. It gives me that feel of the wind in my hair, even though I don't really have hair. But yep, see, another city bike claim. And then we got to watch out for clowns like this who make lane switches, and you're assuming that they're basically gonna sideswipe you off the road, which has happened to me a couple of times. Or I've run into the back of people's vehicles. Not fun. At least it was the back of the vehicle and not the ground, because that would have hurt. Scoot, go. And I actually hate when I see people, especially delivery riders, because they know better, riding the opposite way. And funny enough, I know I did it in my first video. You do it for a block, no one cares. But if you're going against like a heavy traffic area, I really think that's the best place to stand, bud. Thank you. Sometimes they pay attention. As our friend from the Electric Scooter Academy calls them, zombies. Sometimes they are. You don't really understand that until you ride and you use like a PEV or a bike every day, and you see how people maneuver in front of a vehicle that's going almost 30 miles an hour, which is crazy. Alright, it's jockey for position. We get close to the beginning of the crosswalk, make sure nobody's gonna run the light, which we already did, but all sins forgiven, let's move on. But for anybody that's seriously considering this scooter, I do recommend it under a certain number of circumstances. That you don't have a very long commute. You're not expecting to basically go like joyriding, like anything more than 10, 12 miles, like with its potential, because otherwise, you know, you run the risk of basically draining the battery out, and now the scooter's gonna limit you. Because I don't know if you've ever used a 36 volt system, but that's what they do. Once it gets to a certain point in the battery life, and I'd say that's probably around the, if I had to guess, the 40-30% mark. I don't know what that is in like wattage. That is around the time that the scooter kind of conks out. And usually I like to ride all the way to my destination, but I also try not to be a jerk going through here. I technically don't like people riding through here, even though I've seen a million people do it. I just don't like to create a stigma for people who use PEVs and bikes. And see, they got this dude here. He's probably here just to make sure people don't ride through. Would he go out of his way to stop me? Probably not, but I personally don't feel it's a big deal to walk. I get my steps up. So here we are, big old Grand Central. About a 2-mile ride. I think we started off at 222, if I'm not mistaken. It's really nothing, just super light commute. But thanks for tuning in. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I'm trying to grow the channel, so maybe I can start doing live streams. All right, have a wonderful weekend, guys.